In the meantime, the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, has concluded probe into the financial infractions and malfeasance by state-owned enterprises captured in the 2021 audit report. This is to meet the directive by the President to ascertain the causes of the 17.4 billion irregularities flagged by the Auditor General. The Chief of Staff, Fema Opari, received a report on the President's behalf. There's more in this report. According to the 2021 Auditor General's report, some state-owned enterprises lost a total of 17.4 billion cedis as a result of what the report described as failure by these SOEs to do proper financial reporting and internal auditing. The State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, conducted investigations into the development and found that lack of proper procurement processes, misappropriation of funds, lack of collaboration with internal auditors, and low monitoring and supervision are to blame for the infractions and malfeasance captured by the Auditor General. Ambassador Edward Boateng is the Director General of SIGA.
We realize that what we like to term schoolboy mistakes or class 1 mistakes were because a lot of the CEOs just don't pay attention to the Auditor General when they enter their premises. I think sometimes in the haste to get to the end goal, sometimes people just don't follow due process. Then also we realized there was misapplication and misappropriation of funds in some instances, and some of these defaulters have been named in our report for the appropriate sanctions to be taken against them. Then there is also the issue of risk management, and that's something that we believe that you have to bring to the attention of government, that people who are put in these positions should understand the results of their action and inactions.
The Minister for Public Enterprises, Joseph Kojo, said there are plans to sanction specified entities that will fail to implement the recommendations put together by SIGA.
I have said and had discussions with the Director General SIGA, thinking through possible sanctions that will be meted out to the specified entities that will fail to implement the recommendations to the letter. And one framework sanction that has come up in our discussion is for us to make recommendation to Minister of Finance to use withholding of budget releases as a punitive measure for non-compliance in this regard.
The Chief of Staff, Akosua Frema Opari, says government will ensure the SOEs prioritize the reporting of their financial status to enhance accountability.
All SOEs are expected to mainstream appropriate implementation measures to carry out the recommendations detailed in this report. Thus, the government expects all SOEs to ensure the following: prioritize the preparation of their respective management and audited accounts in a timely manner. To collaborate with SIGA and the Office of the Auditor General to urgently clear the backlog of unaudited accounts by the end of the year. To prepare management responses to audit queries and red flags raised by auditors. Lastly but not the least, keep an updated asset register and land title registrations at all times.
The government says it is doing this to ensure the profitability of state-owned enterprises. Now, the United States of America and the United Kingdom are urging Ghana to protect the right of minority groups, including the LGBTQ+ community. The two superpowers expressed concerns regarding the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill currently being considered by Parliament. The concerns were raised when the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame briefed the United Nations Human Rights Council on Ghana's effort towards protecting human rights. Listen to representatives of the two countries raising various issues regarding human rights abuses, including attacks on press freedom.
To free family planning and mental health support and progress in tackling child, early and forced marriage. However, we are concerned by the continued existence of alleged witch camps which run counter to Ghana's social protections. We're encouraged by discussions in Ghana's parliament on abolishing the death penalty, and we also note Ghana's commitment to free speech and urge them to uphold this, including by addressing threats to journalists. We are also concerned by reported violence towards and criminalisation of LGBT+ individuals. We recommend Ghana, 1, further expands the provision of basic health services and social protections, 2, holds those who harm, intimidate or harass journalists to account, and 3, upholds its international human rights obligations, including protecting rights for LGBT+ people. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will hear the intervention of the United States of America.
Thank you, Mr. President. The United States welcomes the distinguished delegation of Ghana. We commend Ghana for its leadership role on security and democracy in the region. We remain concerned about the pace of anti-corruption and justice reform efforts. In the spirit of constructive engagement, we recommend that Ghana, 1, promote human rights of all persons in Ghana, including LGBTQI+ persons, by opposing all discriminatory legislation, prohibiting discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, or sex characteristics, and effectively implementing existing laws and policies that are consistent with the fundamental freedoms expressed in the Ghanaian Constitution. 2, significantly strengthen anti-corruption efforts by enforcing existing laws and enacting and enforcing robust ethics and disclosure regulations to improve accountable governance and address pervasive public corruption. And 3, implement justice sector reforms to ensure fairer and more efficient case resolutions, including for indigent defendants, and in interlocutory appeals and trial management processes. I thank you.
Let's now listen to Attorney General Godfrey Adami address these concerns.
Ghana is generally committed to respecting the human rights and freedoms of all persons. The national report highlights the measures Ghana is undertaking and has undertaken to safeguard these rights and freedoms, some of which have been mentioned earlier this afternoon. Indeed, Ghana aims to continue to develop new initiatives in this regard. Protection of LGBT+ persons. In response to the questions raised by the United States of America and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland regarding the protection of the human rights of LGBT+ persons and the measures Ghana is using to address discrimination against such persons, as mentioned earlier, Ghana is committed to ensuring the protection of all persons from violence. As indicated, the state prohibits all forms of violence and brutality targeted at any group of persons in Ghana, including all minority groups. All crimes of violence, when reported, are effectively investigated by the necessary authorities and the perpetrators brought to justice. Freedom of expression and protection of journalists. Germany and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland seek to know the measures Ghana is taking to protect the freedom of press and journalists. Ghana firmly opposes the values of free, independent and pluralistic media. A conspicuous symbol of Ghana's freedom as a nation is the presence of a free, dynamic and ever highly critical press.
Now, the minority is breathing down heavily on the neck of government to complete the much-touted Agenda 111 hospitals. President Akufo-Addo promised in 2020 to build 101 new district hospitals, 6 regional hospitals, and 2 specialized hospitals in 12 months during the period that Ghana recorded a number of COVID-19 cases. 2 years on, none of the facilities have been completed, and the president has shifted the timelines to the end of his tenure in 2024. The minority have been touring some of the sites earmarked for the hospitals and say government simply have no commitment to complete the project. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has been touring with them and has the rest of the story.
These hospitals were touted by President Akufo-Addo as a game changer for Ghana's fight against future pandemics and epidemics. This was also to enable government cater for places without health facilities. But 2 years on, since this promise was made, none of the hospitals has been completed, and the minority are growing impatient.
It's one of the projects that they pump the COVID money into, and also per our records, they have given this contractor not less than $1 million US. $1 million US as at January 2022, and we are in January 2023. and there is no contractor on site. Mind you, if anybody has captured anything, there are no contractor on site. These are just trucks who are coming to take their stones and go away. So there is no contractor on site. This is Kwabrakwa, and per our records, this contractor has been paid not less than $1 million US. There are other subcontractors who have been paid. I can see here, Gale Limited has been paid almost $81,000. I think that the commitment to the Agenda 111 is not there. They have only set out to, set out a lot of uncompleted sites so that they will push the burden on future governments. So that is, we started this. When elections are approaching, they will say, we started this, your hospital, vote for us to come to power so that when we come, we'll come and complete. I have said these over and over and over again.
Kwabena Minta Kando says only a handful of these hospitals can be completed by 2024.
Most of the contractors have been given mobilization to go to site, including this contractor has been given mobilization. And mobilization of not less than $1 million has been given to the contractor to go to site. Now, this is the state of affairs on site. So, when the president said that during the 2023 budget review, we demanded that the Agenda 111 Secretariat appeared before the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. When they came, they told us, and they are on record, and I can show you, that they are saying that the Agenda 111 can only be handed over to this nation after 2027, not 2024. In fact, they stated that if anything at all, at best, they can do 20% before 2024.
As the controversy surrounding government's expenditure using funds mobilized for COVID-19 rages on, this is one of the sites of the Agenda 111 hospitals that President Akufo-Addo promised to complete in 12 months. The timeline has now shifted to 2024, but the minority insists government will not be able to do so. Indeed, they've been showing some documents to prove that government will not be able to complete all the Agenda 111 hospitals across the country until after 2027. And they say government has shown no commitment so far to complete the projects. And what they've just done is some form of political gimmick. And so this is the Akrofom site. Prior to this, we had been to another site, Kwabnakwa, where there was literally no work done on site apart from a big pit that had been dug. But here you can see some columns which shows that some work can take off from here. Reporting from Akrofom in the Ashanti region, Kweku Asante for Joy News.
Now, the Director General in charge of Technical and Vocational Education Training in Ghana, Mausi Nudeko Awete, has expressed the government's commitment in making technical, vocational and education training in the country appealing and attractive. According to her, government will continue to invest heavily in the sector to make it viable and productive. Speaking at an event to mark this year's International Day of Education in Accra, the Director General indicated that enormous progress has been made since government made the sector a major priority. There's more in the following report.
International Day of Education, marked annually on the 24th of January, was a resolution by the General Assembly of the United Nations in December 2018 to set a day aside to ensure fair and quality education for all. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark the occasion, the Director General in charge of TVET education in Ghana, Mausi Nudeko Awete, stated that her outfit will continue to work hard to promote technical education.
Long life education, which we promote in Ghanaian TVET schools, can break the cycle of poverty, improve health outcomes, prepare people for decent jobs with opportunities to reskill and upskill and mitigate the societal problems. Hence, in the next decade, Ghana TVET service will prioritize opportunities for graduates of TVET institutions to engage in long life learning. We'll endeavor to ensure inclusive, safe and healthy learning environments, empower instructors, harness the digital revolution for the benefit of the public education, and invest more equitably and efficiently.
She further stated that Ghana has made tremendous progress in promoting and making TVET education attractive and acceptable in Ghana.
TVET has not become like those days where TVET was considered as the last resort. Years back, when somebody doesn't pass well and is not admitted in a grammar school, then the parents will say, okay, go and learn a trade. So go to any vocational school. Let me tell you, last year we had people who had aggregate 8, 9, and choosing a TVET school as the first choice. Those days, I mean, TVET schools were chosen as the last choice. But now we had, and last year, the enrollment that went higher. We had about 47,000 students choosing and being enrolled in the TVET schools. And I believe that this year would get to about 60,000.
The program manager at the Ghana Commission of UNESCO, Apollonius Osiasanti, stated that technical education is all that Ghana needs to keep pace with the fast-developing world.
We are focusing on TVET. We know that TVET is one of the areas, the key areas that we know as a country we need to propel. We are the TVET. We know for some time we've tried to demystify TVET. People think it is an area for those who are not good and other things. But now it is being demystified, and we believe that when we have these young boys and girls, when we put them and bring them, all of them on board, we will tap their knowledge, we will tap their skills, the 21st century skills that they are acquiring to really solve the problems that we are facing as a nation. Ghana, we have a gap so far as technology is concerned. So they are the people to fill that gap and propel us to the next stage. That is why the focus, we are saying that we must invest. Once we are investing in people, then we have to invest in TVET. That is so far as education is concerned.
The Public Relations Officer of the Car Power Ship Company, Sandra Markwe, encouraged the young ones to take up technical courses since there are vast opportunities available for them.
Here today. As today marks International Day of Education, we have partnered with UNESCO to commemorate the day with the Applied Technical Institute to let the students understand the importance of their training. As we are all aware, the importance of vocational and technical education cannot be overemphasized. This type of education equips people with the technical and professional skills needed for socio-economic and industrial development of the country. Car Power Ship believes strongly encouraging students who are pursuing technical and vocational education is the best way to build a modern society of scientists. We believe that providing children with the correct knowledge early will help them to make an informed decision about the fields they wish to pursue.
This year's International Day of Education celebration was on the theme to invest in people, prioritize education. Prince Kwame Kodugas reports for JoyNews.
Now, the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, is calling for strong partnerships to improve education across the country. The government of the United Kingdom has been one of Ghana's major partners in the area of education, awarding thousands of scholarships and funding various programs to improve literacy and learning outcomes. In a message to mark International Day of Education, Mrs. Thompson said the UK is working with its partners to deliver transformative education reforms.
Hello, I'm Harriet Thompson, British High Commissioner to Ghana. In my job as High Commissioner, words matter. A newspaper article can change a whole country's opinion. A letter between nations can build a partnership that lasts for generations. And a speech can deliver hope where there might have been dark. Sharing facts, opinions, stories and beliefs through words is part of how we create our cultures. It's part of what makes us human. Yet UNESCO estimate that 6 out of 10 children can't read, that 244 million children and young people are out of school. As we mark World Education Day around the world, let's remember that education, that sustained and easy access to education, is so much more than certificates, school uniforms or classrooms. It's how we build nations, it's how we progress, and it's how we change the world. Here in Ghana, we're working with partners from the government, civil society organisations and our development partners to deliver transformative education reforms focused on learning, and to reach more than 200,000 out-of-school children, supporting them to transition into school, to learn, to thrive, and to transform our world.
Residents of Yaniba Estate area of the La Dadekotopon municipality in Accra are crying for help as noise from bars and pubs is robbing them of their peace, making it difficult for them to sleep or conduct their businesses. My colleague Michael Ashale has been to the community and our reports.
But at night, the story is the exact opposite. That's the situation in Yaniba Estate in the La Dadekotopon municipality. For residents there, the noise from some of the bars and pubs are fast becoming a nuisance. Felicia has been living in the area for years and tells Wache during the day. She barely remembers the last time she had a restful sleep.
Lawyer dear said the Ukraine baby a done a senka or the two. Edua Jua, or block bia gates, Sir, be emergency be a fearful money parking space.
In Ghana, the permissible ambient noise set by the Ghana Standards Authority and the Environmental Protection Agency for Educational, Health Facilities and Offices should be 55 decibels during the day and 50 decibels at night, whereas areas with residential and some commercial or light industrial activities should be 60 decibels during the day and 55 at night. But it seems that these regulations are not being upheld. Like Felicia, more residents in Yaniba Estate are unhappy with the noise in the area.
They disturb us in the night. You can't sleep. And the place is very dark. There are no street lights around, so the crime rate over the time has been going up also. Then people even have sex in front of the car parks over here and all that, in the open.
Laboni, Cantonment, Osu, and now Yaniba are dotted with bars. As mixed residential and industrial areas, they have become hotspots with many of these bars fluidly flouting noise level regulations.
You cannot have excessive sound in an area when people want to talk to each other. So those are the things that have gone into our setup and our design.
Kwesi Osei Kusi owns a number of bars in Yaniba that has been operating since 2019. He disagrees with the notion that the area is classified as residential.
So number one, it's not a residential area. Number two is that we have received noise complaints. But you have to consider that if you get a noise complaint and you're located in a light industrial area, right, it's not the same as when you're in a residential area. That said, we did not disregard our neighbors' requests about the impact on their business. So we took it upon ourselves that, look, let's do even further and go down even more, which we've done.
He says he has spent more than 50,000 cedis in soundproofing after receiving a single complaint from his neighbor.
You cannot have excessive sound in an area when people want to talk to each other. So those are the things that have gone into our setup and our design. These black panels did not exist before. They are sound panels. They are soundproofing panels. And they are positioned where the speakers are. And the idea is that it will absorb as much of it as possible before it extends. There is a transparent roofing structure on top, which helps a little bit, but by itself, it doesn't do all of that. We spent right now close to 50,000 cedis. So between the sound panels, we did a roofing extension. This DBX thing was imported from the UK. It's not cheap. The speaker systems that we put at the back, they are not cheap. To be honest, after all these things have come in, I think we have a far better level of management of the sound than we did before. We didn't have most of this when we started.
But it appears all that investment in soundproofing didn't yield much.
It's just about 9 something, and you can still hear the noise. Around 12, or get Wessa, you get it. So we engaged them, and they said they were doing ABC. Still nothing. We still have the complaints from people. So it looks like no matter what they are doing, the thing is not being solved.
Rhoda Busompim is the supervisor of Azzy Suits, an award-winning hospitality facility. They share a wall with Kwesi's bar. She tells JoyNews all efforts to reach the relevant authorities have proven futile.
We've written to LADMA, EPA, Ghana Tourism Authority, but still the sound is still going and is affecting our business woefully. Now it happens that the rooms on the stretch is unrentable. We can't rent them out. Even the people who still like the place, when they are booking, they'll tell you they prefer the rooms facing the roadside. And as you can see, all our windows are even double glazed, but you still hear the sound, even in your bedroom.
Residents, business owners, and bar operators in Nyaneba have been at it for months. At least, they agree on one thing. They want the relevant authorities to intervene. For JoyNews, Michael Ashale.
You're also watching News Desk here on the JoyNews channel. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with business.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Warm welcome to the business segment on JoyNews Desk with me, Pius Kojo. MTN Ghana says it has put in place strong security measures to protect customers from cyber fraud. Speaking at its Ayoba Momo Accelerator Competition Awards 2022, the Chief Executive Digital Officer of MTN Ghana, Dario Banchi, says the initiative forms part of the company's commitment to consumer safety. The following report has more.
There are presently over 40 micro apps on the MTN Ayoba Africa Super App. Dario Bianchi said MTN is very particular about its key performance indicators, hence ensuring the safety and care of its customers.
We have KPIs to meet, we have all these things that are quite tough. So the first few years, a couple of years were quite difficult. Then the last 18 months, I've seen a dramatic change that I hope all of you saw on the app. A lot of things that were not working now work. We have more than almost 40 micro apps now on the app. We have channels working. We have music that is the most successful service in Ghana for Ayoba. We have a lot of good reviews. And something I told Burak, the CEO of Ayoba the other day, something I'm very happy that I shouldn't, but is that the other day I opened Ayoba, I went on messaging, and I saw one of these, how do you call them here, fraudulent chats about lottery and so on, okay? These things that normally you only get on WhatsApp. So if now they're on Ayoba, it means that Ayoba is something big. Because it means that fraudsters, they go where there are people, and now they are coming to Ayoba. So that's the good news. Of course, the bad news is that we have to put something in place to protect our customers. But overall, I think I'm very, very happy. So coming now to the future of Ayoba, okay? So you are part of the future, because the future of Ayoba is going to be all about micro apps. The next few months, you will see a lot of changes to the interface. They sent me some initial design of how the interface will change, and you will see that the app will be less messaging-centric.
An information technology firm based in Wa, the Upper West Regional Capital, Noni Hub won the ultimate prize of MTN Ayoba Momo Accelerator Competition Awards 2022. The firm beat 17 other competitors across the country to win the ultimate prize. Noni Hub, which currently has 3 micro apps on the MTN Ayoba platform, received an amount of 50,000 Ghana cedis, a lifetime partnership with MTN Ayoba, certificate, and souvenirs from MTN Ghana and Ayoba as its prizes. Sumaila Chakura is its chief executive.
Yesterday, I said that anything that has to do with helping startups to grow is something that we are very passionate about, and we'll do it in the night, we'll do it in the day, we'll do it 24/7. And we are glad that our efforts have been recognized. And it also means that we still have a lot of work to do. So we really appreciate the recognition, and we hope to work harder to ensure that we get more startups listed on the Ayoba platform. Considering the benefits that it provides, having the ability to access several apps without using data is very important now, considering the fact that the cost of data is going high and everything is now going online. I think it's a great opportunity to really work harder. So this tells us that there's more work to do. Thank you so much to my team who have just called to find out what is happening, and they call at the right time. I really appreciate all the...
MTN Ayoba is available on Google Play Store to all MTN and non-MTN customers in the digital ecosystem. Importantly, MTN's Ambition 2025 strategy is to drive digital and financial inclusion across Africa via Ayoba.
Now, CEO of consultancy firm Done By Us, King Adawu Wellington, has stated that his outfit is committed to reducing the high startup failure rate in the country. According to him, there is the need to support entrepreneurs by connecting them to practical business knowledge, markets, and funding to help them sustain their startups, hence the introduction of the Street Africa MBA program. There is more in the following report.
The Africa Street MBA program was launched to provide an integrated business support for startups and small businesses through capacity building, mentorship, business development services, and funding for young entrepreneurs. The program seeks to impact young entrepreneurs with world-class business knowledge to develop and sustain their businesses. Speaking at the launch of the program, Chief Executive of Done By Us said the program is designed to bridge the business knowledge gap and help small businesses to strive.
The project seeks to impact young people with world-class business knowledge based on top MBA curriculum and entrepreneurial course content. The Africa Street MBA has been designed to bridge the business knowledge gap and also help young people to be able to partake in such a program. We are therefore taking business knowledge from the formal sector into the informal sector, from the corporate world into the street, so that so many entrepreneurs from Ghana and from Africa can also benefit.
Assistant Business Director of Ghana Enterprises Agency, Samira Hussein, also reiterated the commitment of the agency to help MSMEs to develop their businesses to help reduce unemployment in the country.
GA will continue to play its role to ensure that MSMEs in Ghana have skilled man labor and possess good managerial skills to help skyrocket the performance of the MSME through efficient and effective utilization of resources available to them, and also in a position to create capital for themselves if need be, and not to rely only on external source to raise funds before they can operate smoothly.
The Africa Street MBA program is geared towards empowering young entrepreneurs to sustain their businesses.
That'll be all for business for now. There'll be more business news in our subsequent bulletins. I am Pius Kojo. Always a pleasure serving you.
And that's our package for you this hour. There's more on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good morning.